Good evening, my distinguished people. It's good to hang out with you once more again. Happy Sunday. How are you guys doing? I trust you're doing absolutely great. I trust you're doing great. How's your weekend? I trust you had a great weekend. Good evening. Yeah, for those in Nigeria, good evening. For those in other parts of the world, good day. Good day, good day, good day, good day. So good to have you here. So good. Good day. So today we're going to be talking about something that actually happens to us, and most times it happens in our subconscious. It happens in our subconscious some of the time. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about that today. Good day. So good to have you here. So good to have you here. So good to be chilling with you. So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about imitation is limitation. Imitation is limitation. Imitation is limitation. So what do I mean by this? Imitating is limiting. So imitating is limiting. That's what we're going to be talking about this evening. Imitating is limiting. So now what is imitation? Imitation is to follow as a model or a pattern, following a team, following a person as a model or a pattern, or to make a copy of an original of something, a counterpart or a semblance of. So imitation is not original. Imitation is a copy or following something. So it's not original. Imitation. And imitation sometimes happens in our subconscious, in your subconscious. Examples are like you imitating your parents. You want to be like them. Before you know, you talk like your father, you talk like your mother. Imitating your siblings, imitating your spouse, imitating your friends, imitating your colleagues, imitating your mentors. Sometimes this happens in our subconscious. There's nothing wrong with having a role model. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't be a complete photocopy of your role model. Let me say this again. There is nothing wrong with having a role model. There's nothing wrong about that. But ensure that you don't be a complete photocopy of your role model. You know why? Because the both of you are two different persons. Two different persons created by God as individuals. The both of you are two different original people. You can never be the same. God created people differently to fulfill and accomplish different purposes in life. So you have to ensure that you don't be a complete photocopy of whoever your role model is. Even if it is similar, even if you guys have similar visions, similar values, similar attributes, but it can never be exactly the same because you guys are different. God created everyone as an individual. So what do you do if you have a role model? You pick the good values from them. You pick the good qualities from them. You pick the good things from them. And then you use these things that you have picked from them to enhance yourself, to improve yourself, to upgrade the you that God has made you to be. You know why? Because trying to be exactly like someone else can limit you in life. It makes you not see beyond that person. It makes you not see beyond the person. Or sometimes it even makes you stretch yourself beyond who God has created you to be. So imitation is not healthy. Trying to be like someone else is not healthy. It's not healthy. Even if you have a role model, you guys cannot be the same. It's like you see some children, they're giving birth to as twins. But as they grow, they differ. Yeah, physically they might look the same. They might be identical physically. But you see, as they grow in life, as they begin to follow their endeavors, chase things in life, there's always a difference. They are different. They cannot be exactly the same. There are no two human beings created by God that are exactly the same. No. So that's why imitation is not good. You need to discover yourself. It limits you. It limits you. So many people have been limited in life just because they're trying to be some other person. Trying to be some other person. Not being themselves. And it limits them. It limits them. What is limitation? Limitation is the act of limiting. Or the state of being limited. It is a restriction, a boundary, real or metaphorical, caused by something or some circumstance. Sometimes we don't see ourselves. We see another person in us. That is why we want to be like another person. Forgetting who we are. Forgetting that we are wonderfully made by God. Forgetting who we are. Most of you carry more greatness than the person you're imitating. Some of us are greater than the person we imitate. And when you're imitating somebody that you're greater than, what are you doing? You're limiting yourself. Because if you discover yourself and know yourself and begin to work on yourself, you're supposed to be greater than that person you're imitating. So you're limiting yourself. It's like somebody sees a good that someone produce, and you're good at producing that kind of thing. Rather than going to invent your own and produce your own, you choose to imitate somebody that has produced that kind of thing. And you can produce it. You're limiting yourself. Because if you produce your own, since it is something that you are good at, you never can tell your own can be far better than the one you're trying to imitate. Because this is what you're good at. So imitation limits you. It limits you. And one thing to take note of is that the difference between imitation and limitation is the letter L. The letter L is the difference. The letter L is different. Now, what does the letter L stand for? What does it mean? To learn. To learn. To learn. What does it mean to learn? To learn means to come to know. To come to know. To be informed of. To find out. To gain knowledge. You need to learn to know if you're imitating. You need to learn to know. You need to come to know who you are. You need to become informed of your person. You need to find out who you are. You need to gain knowledge about your person. And then tell yourself that I'm not going to imitate no one. God has created me to be great. I carry greatness. I carry grace. I carry talents. I have gifts. I have great potentials. I'm going to work it out. I cannot be someone else. I can't be someone else. Because by doing so, I'm limiting myself. Or by doing so, I'm overstretching myself. So we need to learn. By learning, you will find out yourself. Because you need to find yourself to know yourself. You need to find yourself to know yourself. And you need to know yourself to be yourself. You need to know yourself to be yourself. And you need to be yourself to improve yourself. And you need to improve yourself to get over yourself or invent yourself. And you need to get over yourself to give yourself to others. So imitation, we need to be careful because like I said, it happens sometimes in our subconscious. Sometimes we love somebody so much and we start behaving like the person. We want to walk like the person. We want to talk like the person. We want to dress like the person. Yes, even though the person is a good role model, even though the person is a good influence. But don't forget that you can never be that person. Don't forget that you both were created differently by God. Don't forget that you have been created by God. As an individual, you have been created by God to fulfill purpose. So don't leave yourself. Do not leave yourself. Do not leave yourself in a position where you won't accomplish and fulfill what God has destined you to become and follow somebody and keep imitating the person. And you come to this earth and you leave and go without fulfilling purpose, without fulfilling destiny. Imitation makes you not live your life. Imitation makes you live some other person's life. You don't live your life. Because your whole life you've been trying to be like someone else. Rather than be yourself. Or maybe the person is living his or her life. And you are struggling. It makes you struggle. You're struggling to catch up. Struggling to be like someone else. God didn't create us like that. God didn't create us like that. God didn't create us like that. So it is necessary that we realize ourselves. Pick good values from people, but be yourself because you are different, because you are wonderfully, you are specially made by God to fulfill destiny and to fulfill purpose on this earth. So please don't be another person. Don't be a photocopy. Be yourself and be original. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please like and share this video. We'll see some other time.